Hello everyone and welcome back to Beware the Q. This video is part 6 of the All Tomorrow's timeline and the final instalment in the series. If you haven't yet done so, please check out parts 1 through 5, the links to which can be found in the description. And now, with all that said, let's get into the video. The New Empire. Around 6 million years have passed since the Great Astromorph Machine War, and 4 million years since the Age of Reconstruction came to a close. The New Empire is currently made up of 4 different species: the Astromorphs, the Terrestrials, the New Machines, and the descendants of the Bugfacers, known as the Subjects. It seems that there is a strict hierarchy in place. The Astromorphs are at the top, acting as gods. They don't interfere with the goings-ons of the worlds beneath them, instead outsourcing these duties to the ones created from them, the Terrestrials. These spidery beings were made by and from the Astromorphs to watch over their worlds, acting as kings, prophets, caretakers, and even grim reapers as the occasion dictated. They had had their brains shrunken down so that they may cope with life in a gravitational environment. Below the Terrestrials in the pecking order are the Bugfacer-derived Subjects. They seem to make up the bulk of the New Empire. And beneath the Subjects are the New Machines. Due to the war that took place between the Astromorphs and the Gravital, the Machines are always treated with a degree of mistrust. Even after 6 million years as citizens, they still haven't managed to live down their ancestors' sins. On one world, where the Subjects are ruled by the terrestrial gods, a mass revolt takes place. The Subjects have rejected them and have chosen to follow one of their own instead. A particularly charismatic and ruthless man with a lust for power has built up his own army and has convinced his folk to rebel. The Terrestrials are not like them, he says. They do not have the Subjects' best interests at heart, only their own, he tells them. It's actually more true than even he realizes. Much is hidden from the Subjects by the Terrestrials, and, even though this charming and persuasive rebel is basically on the mark with what he's telling them, even he would be surprised by just how much these rulers are actively and consciously working against them. For the Terrestrials of this world have grown disgustingly corrupt. They have not done their duty or fulfilled their obligations to shepherd and guide the Subjects. They have instead spent their time in the pursuit of selfish, material gain and increasing their stranglehold of power. It was relatively easy for the Terrestrials to redirect the Subjects' anger before, when only a small number could see what was really happening. But as time has passed, more and more of them have begun to wake up and reject their terrestrial rulers. The Terrestrials have a plan though. They have genetically engineered a new kind of subject, one that is far less capable intellectually. These new subjects will be much less inclined to question their overlords, and much more servile in nature. The Terrestrials will use these new subjects to replace the old. It isn't always the case that the Terrestrials grow corrupt and ruthlessly take advantage of their subjects. Like most sapient beings in the galaxy, each Terrestrial is an individual and has goals, ideas, and beliefs of their own. As it turns out, some of them are benevolent rulers and genuinely want what's best for their subjects. Hard to imagine, I know. One world is fortunate enough to have such Terrestrials running the show, and it's doing rather well. Things aren't perfect here, but it's pretty close. The right balance of freedom and law has been struck, and the Subjects are able to live rich, fulfilling lives. The rest of the Empire's worlds fall somewhere in between. But eventually they'll all make it, and when they do, they'll be ready to meet their cousins on other worlds. The New Empire now consists of around 900,000 colonies and encompasses planets, planetoids, moons, and particularly large asteroids, these being home to the astromorph gods. With this unimaginable expansion came unimaginable discoveries, some of which pertained to the uncovering of alien life. Of course, alien life had been discovered as far back as the days of the Star People. Finding non-sapient life in the cosmos had long since ceased to be a mind-blowing experience. Intelligent, sapient life, however, was still as rare as it had ever been. As the new empire got closer and closer to the edge of the galaxy, the more clear and strong the signals from a neighbouring civilization became. The signals were emanating from the galaxy next door. Some within the new empire were excited by the prospect of meeting a new, highly advanced species, while others were much more apprehensive. It might be the Q. A probe is sent forth, a living, intelligent probe. A new machine. The new machines were no longer just a human mind in a metal casing like the comparatively primitive Gravital before them. The new machines' bodies were nanotechnological, allowing them to change their physical forms to whim. A new machine was sent forth with a friendly message of greeting. It presented itself to the intelligent species, taking the form of an astromorph god. It was warmly and gladly received. The intelligent species who met the mechanical diplomat were the amphicephali. The amphicephali were a strange species that resembled giant snakes with heads at both ends, one of which had a smaller, retractable body in its mouth, which it would use to interact with the world around it. They were intelligent, peaceful, and welcoming, and in turn were welcomed into the new empire, which from this point on had a new name: the United Galaxies. The amphicephali have made great contributions to the United Empire. They have spent the past 2 million years assisting the astromorphs with cradling its galaxy's suns with artificial, reflective shells, which have multiplied its habitable zones 1 billion-fold. There is now no place within the Milky Way or the nearby Amphicephali's galaxy that the astromorphs cannot get to. But all of this activity, all of these signals and broadcasts bathing this corner of the universe attract some unwanted attention. The Q are back. They have seen what the astromorphs and the amphicephali have done to their respective galaxies, and they're not pleased. The Q attempt a takeover, just like the one they embarked upon over 150 million years ago. But this time is different. Last time the Q took humanity by surprise and defeated them in less than 1,000 years. But this new human race is something else entirely. They have intergalactic allies, technology that absolutely rivals the Q's, and what's more, they have been preparing for the Q's return for 150 million years. The Q are easily defeated. It takes less than 100 years for the astromorphs to end the war. Exactly what became of the Q after their defeat is unknown, but one thing is certain: their reign of terror had come to an end. A single researcher, with what is by this point considered a niche interest, finally locates what she has spent her life searching for: the original human world, Earth. She is a descendant of the now long-gone astromorphs and, in turn, is also a descendant of the Spacers, the Star People, and, perhaps, one of you out there watching this video. Upon finally discovering the location of old Earth, she has a ship sent forth. It lands quietly, without ceremony, and encounters no life at all. Earth is essentially a dead world, with only the occasional shrub or patch of greenery dotting the horizon. She reports her findings to her native world, and before long, colonization efforts begin. An alien researcher, much like the human researcher who traversed this area of space over 1 billion years ago, comes across the preserved and petrified remains of a human skull while exploring what was once Mars. He had a feeling that life once existed here, and now he has proof. But did it start here, or somewhere nearby? If he wanted to find out, and he did, he would have to get to work. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my series of All Tomorrow's Timeline videos. This is the last installment in the series, and I had a lot of fun writing it, expanding on the events of the book, and of course, taking my fair share of liberties with the way things in the story played out. If you enjoy what I do here on YouTube, then please hit the like button and leave a comment. And if you feel particularly generous, you can become a patron or channel member. This has been Beware the Q, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.